Welcome to Adulting in the Modern World with Donna, Sahar, and Danielle. This is a podcast dedicated to help women catalyze their own transformation and engage in their evolution in a conscious way. We are three transformational coaches that share tools, processes, practices, and wisdom to support you in designing your life in a fun, joy-filled, and abundant way. Welcome again to Adulting in the Modern World.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Adulting in the Modern World. It's me, Danielle Daou. I am here with Sahar, Joya, and Donna Poulidis, and we have a very special guest today with us. It's Solongo Klawttir. Solongo is a beautiful person I've met through my health coaching studies at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. Now, Solongo used to work in Afghanistan for the US Army. And I remember really well while she was in Afghanistan, she had this beautiful kind of picture of a forest behind her. And one day I asked her, you know what, this is really nice. What is it? She told me it's a drape. I had to change the mood of the environment I live in because it's such a masculine environment and it's literally a war zone I'm living in. So it's really difficult to cope with to keep my femininity alive and to keep myself grounded, because Longo had also her journey into this world of healing. She's a very humble lady, so most probably if you ask her what do you do, she would just tell you, I am a mother who is interested in healing as many people as I can in this world. So, Solongo, thank you very much for joining us. Last week, we did a podcast checking in with Sahar. Sahar's roots are from Afghanistan. So from her perspective, it was interesting to understand how she has healed as a part of the Afghani diaspora. And today we're checking in with you, what you've seen, what you've felt, what were the traumas that were there on the ground.
My goodness, thank you so much, everybody, having me. And first, I would like to offer my gratitude. All of you beautiful ladies invite me to the Adulting in Modern World. And also, all the individual one of you are really seeing my light and bringing me. So, what you see in me is like basically reflecting back. Yes, I would like to also honor what's going on in the world right now, and people are who are suffering and really not listening to the Mother Earth, and just creating drama and trauma, and it's being repeated, including my own ancestors, Mongolians, who butchered and killed many people in Iran, in Middle East, and Baghdad. So I would like to also heal my own lineage to show that I'm sorry what my ancestors at the time thought it was right. It was really traumatizing. And many researchers say, especially those who study trauma, said the first trauma started with Genghis Khan. So it's my duty to be here, living in this body, to really heal. And it doesn't matter, whatever you do, if you have if you are a trained soldier, like really warlord, or if you are a trained lawyer, it doesn't matter, you're bringing healing. So this is my goal. Thank you for Sahar for your light to the world, and it's very beautiful to see you're really using the highest level of consciousness and healing. And because we are from this people would say like third world, or people who are always fighting, but really the consciousness can evolve. So my experience in, especially in Afghanistan, was that I am shamanic practitioner, so I meditate, so I can feel the earth. So what happens is, and when there is a bombing happens, right? So people, these two forces, they're really one, but they don't see it. They're like, they think they're different, but really people act from the pain. The sadly, pain really bonds people. So then these two forces, killing each other, and then souls don't go away. They manifest as entities. That is the thoughts, hate, and anger and frustration. So it just like keeps circling. And then at night, I can only speak from my experience. And at night, I would hear mothers crying. The mothers, probably it's a collective consciousness crying. And the earth is so sad. Like we teach each other, like ground with the earth, and then grass, feel the grass, and I'll go to ocean. Like it's all accessible for us, right? Everybody can have it. Even if you're in the war zone, you can feel the earth, the mountains in Afghanistan. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then I was just feeling a lot of crying. And then I felt like the moms, especially Afghan moms, who are training the sons, maybe they had domestic violence, or it's just unhealed pattern of consciousness just repeated and being transferred. So that's what I experienced. And then I used to have nightmares, and I would have sometimes during when I'm sleeping, I will see like soul portion. That's what we say it in shamanic culture, and I will see things. So I had to clear it out from my body. So, um, but in Western culture, but I'm not sure about different religion. Not sure about that. It's a really deep cleaning. So it's just really the cleaning the consciousness, lower level of consciousness, middle and highest self. So this is what I experienced as being sentient being in Afghanistan.
Um, do you feel like there's a message or anything that you'd like to share, like from your experiences based on like kind of current events of what's happening? Do you have like any words of wisdom or anything that's like, how like in terms of healing the past, for a lot of people right now, they're thinking like, one of the things for me is like, why a 20-year cycle of like this 9/11 thing happening and then this? So do you feel like there's anything that you would like to share like with the community or anything like that?
I don't want to get into politics that much because people can twist it and use it for their own egoistic benefits. So it doesn't matter if will, wherever. So I can only say trauma, it's just like coward, you cannot just like bomb, you cannot just like, traumatize people. It's like, it's a violence. So if that happens, it's really stayed in our hippocampus and amygdala, our brain, and then it's manifested as memory. So I would say the personal level is that some of the people, refugees, are going to different places, so they have their own callings, and then it's the individual work, right? So we see violence in developed countries. It's either can be physical, mental, or financial. Like personally, I experienced financial abuse, and then I can only say this: you just need to clear it out. And after September 11, it was very difficult, and only can wisdom that I can say is we just need to forgive ourselves first, forgive those who hurt us. Ho'oponopono. I was in Hawaii, and I did a lot of healing on me. Ho'oponopono. It's just like, you offer, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me. It's you just gotta, but it doesn't mean you let these people or those forces abuse you. You just, separate yourself. You just offer love and compassion, like to yourself first.
Thank you for that messaging, Solongo. That's a lot of what we believe in here on our podcast, but also through our channel, PranaLakshmi. It's really all about coming back to the self first, to self heal. No matter who was, your abuser or where the trauma comes from, and when we can get intact with the self and really start to come from a balanced and whole place, because every human being that was born, every being that's born, a dog, a cat, a human, we're all whole to begin with, from birth and from before birth. But the traumas we come into this world with, they all need healing. And I've never met a human yet that doesn't need some kind of healing. So we're all in that collectively. And right now, it's like all of these things have come to the surface. And I speak vaguely because literally on every part of the planet right now, there is trauma that is bursting to the surface, which means every single human, as you mentioned, we all need to heal, no matter who is causing harm. It really actually doesn't matter right now, because even those abusers need their own self-healing. And so really it's up to each and every one of us to heal, to not be victim, to not accept the victim role, and to really step forward into what can I do proactively. I think that's, the collective of what we're doing even today. It's, yes, I remember, and what can I do now proactively to lead a more multidimensional life in service and wholeness and balance, in taking care of me and my family. Because that then, it's kind of cliche, but that's what really spreads. My little step forward will actually affect everyone else around me. And so it's really a time for collective healing and growth. And I know we've talked about this in the last episode. Ancestral healing is really big right now, really impactful, because as we clear the wounds of our parents and our ancestors going way back, as you said, even to Genghis Khan, I mean, this goes centuries and thousands of years back. Then we start to come into more of a clarity. I'm calling it now clarity consciousness. We can think more clearly, act more clearly, speak more clearly. So I really appreciate your sharing today, because it brings things into perspective as to, where have we been? What have we seen? What have we gone through? And then where do we go from here? How do we go forward from here? And that's what, I think all of us as healers and therapists and coaches, that's really the gift right now, is to help ourselves and to help all of the people that we touch to really get footing and grounding. There's the earth again, grounding into our own life. How can I stand on my own 2 feet and take care of myself, and therefore have the reserves to take care of all of those around me as well?
Yes, it's ancestral healing is crucial, and all of you speak different languages. So when you use the healing in different languages, it's interprets and translates in different ways. So what's our job as a conscious being the agent for transformation for better, is that we also need to evolve the language too. And if you look at the languages, it needs to have more love and compassion into it, and because words are really everything, and then our brain behaves in a certain way. Just imagine those hurting people, if you just offer them love, compassion, just imagine how it could shift.
That makes me think of the meditation that I happened to practice this morning, which was definitely not a coincidence. And there was a forgiveness piece to that. And at first, I imagined one person in my life that I wanted to both receive forgiveness and ask forgiveness from, because it goes both ways. And then 2 other people appeared in front of me. So it was actually this collective, it happened to be of males in my life, and one person became 3. So it's actually really interesting when we see how we might see an instance of trauma come into our lives from one aspect or one perspective, but really there's a reason it's come in, and it may have affected us in other ways as well. So I like that you brought up forgiveness, because I think that's one of the really core healing principles. Practicing gratitude also, we have to open ourselves up to gratitude and light by being forgiven and forgiving others.
Thank you. Yes. Also, being mom is the most challenging. When I look at myself going to Afghanistan and put myself in that situation, it's not for me. It was not for the money. It was really, I had the mission to heal, right? So I was also had the mission to heal my ancestors and working with very strong masculine forces. It appears strong and brave, but then when you really get into them, they're just children, hurt. That's why they joined the military, if you really look at into it. And then I just feel like, okay, they had to have this kind of sense of belonging. So for me, it was always like I always want to help people, and some people really took advantage of that. So being a mom is a little bit difficult too. Only one person who really get into me. I'm usually very calm and like gentle. My daughter, she's like 12, and then she's like, she knows exactly how to push my buttons. So I am also learning through my daughter. She's really teaching me patience. So I need to be mindful of that, like how to, you know, help next generation, be more mindful, war-free, trauma-free. So it starts with me. So yeah, I need to also work on my being a mom, be patient with my daughter.
I think the way, Solongo, I think your presence there and you working, taking the courage to go there and to kind of like see what you can do and how you can help. And while being there, not losing any time, trying to study as much as possible so that you can help people as much as possible. This is already a lot of self-healing. So like you said, like all of you, I think we all are in line with all of our different techniques and ideas and beliefs, that it all starts by us. It all starts by us, and then it all kind of transmits to the rest of our environment. And what you're doing today is really helping yourself and really understanding, you know, and like Sahar said, each soul has got a different journey, and maybe you are on a different journey right now, and that soul, that's the woman that whom you really want to help, is on her soul journey as well. So you did whatever you could, and there are sometimes we have to face, again, healing is facing reality, mostly facing reality and transforming the meaning of it, putting the right meaning to it, which is really facing reality as raw as possible. And for me, the number one tip that I give those Palestinian women, or the women who are stuck like this, are just face reality and have faith and do whatever you can within the circumstances. Because then once you have faith, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of good things that come from faith, believe it or not. This is why in every culture you have some kind of prayer. When you pray as a Muslim or as a Christian or as a Hindu, or even when you meditate, you get connected to the universe. You not only pause your thinking and you clear your thoughts, so that you kind of reboot, but you can also connect to the universe. And we're all on a kind of mind wave, we're all connected, whether we like it or not. And once you grow that faith, you can also nurture everything else around you. This is the best one can do.
I'm wondering if there's like a kind of a prayer or something that we'd like to say, since Danielle mentioned prayer and faith and all of that. So I wonder if anybody has like a prayer or something that we can say as a close off to kind of in this moment, and for the listeners who are going to listen later, to kind of, if we can align our intention to kind of send a blessing to the earth as a whole. Like my painting out here, there's like, she has the globe as an earring, and it's lit by like abundance and light.
And what's come to me is Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, and Solongo already called in the green Tara at the beginning. So as soon as you said for a prayer, which is really a mantra in this case, that's what came to me. So I'd be happy to lead that if we all want to close on that note.
All right.
You can close your eyes.
Thank you, Solongo, for being with us.
Thank you for sharing your gifts and sharing your wisdom. And thank you to all of us for showing up today. Thank you to our listeners. Whenever you are hearing this, we all know that this healing applies to us always, everywhere, and in all time. So whenever you're hearing this, it's the appropriate time for you. So place your feet to the earth. Place the soles of the feet grounded to the earth. Elongate your spine, close your eyes. And this is a mantra to Tara to alleviate suffering. This conversation has been about that, to alleviate suffering on the globe. So allow these words, allow this vibration to begin to unravel, to dispel, to dissolve any of the suffering that you feel physically, mentally, emotionally. Take some deep breaths. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om. Om.